Well, having played our last game in the Champions League at Old Trafford in 2021, where we are knocked out in the round of 16 by Atletico Madrid, where you have fairly capitalized onto that era and obviously made it 1-0 for Atletico Madrid. Man United, after 2 years, they are back into the Champions League. Remember, we last played there in 2022, I think. Yeah, I think it was the year 2022, year 2022. Now, after a year later, we are going to play our first Champions League game since, I think it was since February or March 2022 in the era of Eric Ten Hag. So welcome to this channel. This is United Matters channel. How are you guys? And are you watching us from by the names of Rock and David, coming in from a loss to Crystal Palace over the weekend, a game where we had total control of the game, passed that ball around, but we couldn't make our possession make sense. That is one of the things that we should obviously come in through and really capitalize on and find ourselves really getting into better scoring positions and creating chances for our number 9s. And this is what Eric Ten Hag is going to hit one Marcus Rashford about as far as this feature is really concerned, that you need to kill off chances. If not, you have to really stop being selfish on the night. Let's close with the next match in this video. We are going to play Galatasaray. For them, over the weekend, they won by 2-1. They beat a side known as Akangaragucu by 2-1. And Akangaragucu was the first to score in the 48th minute. Wilfred Zaha went ahead to obviously level the game, and then Bielsa went ahead to score in his own net to make it 2-1 in favor of Galatasaray. If at all you don't know Galatasaray, let me talk about some of the players they have that can obviously haunt us. Serge Boy, very good right back, also playing the central defense, very good player. Everyone's going to enjoy him. There is Torreira, formerly at Arsenal. He plays in their double pivot. Then there is Tete. You know him very well, was playing for Leicester City, the recently concluded season. Then Wilfred Zaha, most sounding of all, playing for Crystal Palace. And he has gone ahead to put out a story that they can obviously hurt us and put us to the sword. That is it. Then Mauro Icardi, one of the biggest prospects that we're going ahead to see in world football, that his character and discipline has gone ahead to really befail his career. So those are the players that are really going to come in through to face us. But they are having Hakimi Ziyech, who is also a major doubt for Galatasaray. You saw that never even kicked a ball in that game they played over the weekend. So we don't know whether he's going to be fit to play against Manchester United on that is today. And then they are having one player out, Kazmakman Karates. These people have good huge names to pronounce. So Karatas is out. So they only have one injured player out. Now let's go to Manchester United. Which players are missing out in action? Lisandro Martinez, Tyrell Malacia, Luke Shaw. All those players are missing out in action. Then I've talked about Tyrell Malacia. I've talked about Luke Shaw. I've talked about Lisandro Martinez. I've talked about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Then in the mix we have Amad Diallo. You know, I think those are the 5 players that are really missing out in action for the club of Manchester United, because Kobe Menu is back, but he cannot obviously play into this beautiful game of football. Do you know why? He's still not yet up to speed to the levels of fitness that the manager really wants him to be. And we look at the situation at Man United with Amrabat present, Mason Mount present, Eriksson, Donny van de Beek, who is not going to play part in the Champions League because we're not registered, Eriksson, Bruno Fernandes, you know, Hannibal, Go, and very many others, the Casemiros of this world. No need to rush this player back. We should only bring him back when he's 100% fit. 100% fit. That's when we should obviously go in and obviously go for him to come in through and play part into the season of Manchester United. So we're having 5 players injured, and the rest of the squad is readily available. And Where does this lead us? It leads us to the predicted starting 11 of this beautiful game of football as Manchester United takes on Galatasaray at Old Trafford. And I'm going to tell you my prediction, and you guys will be highly welcome to go into the comment section to tell me what your predictions are for this beautiful game of football that we're going to play down at Old Trafford. Now, the system that we're going to play, obviously, it's a 4-2-3-1. You all know it. And the game is going to be at Old Trafford. 74,310 people expected to come in through and obviously bless the job. Now, Erik ten Hag teased on Bendir getting his debut for Man United. That is it today at Old Trafford. But it's something I don't see it coming. And if Bendir really starts, then I'm going to be surprised. Because if you couldn't obviously give him time in the game of Crystal Palace in the midweek, then how come he gives him game time into the Champions League? The reason he gave was he needed to obviously be well conversant with the Premier League. And how will he be well conversant with the Premier League when you don't even play him against such teams? And for Andre Onana, does he have enough Premier League experience? The answer is no. So, what was the cause of obviously bringing him on and not bringing in Bendir? So for my case, I don't agree with many, but the Sun is going to report that it's Bendir starting goal. But for me, I go with Andre Onana because this is another pressure game. It's another pressure game that Ten Hag needs to obviously win at home. And we need to win all these games at home. We win our 3 games at home in the Champions League. We go to either Galatasaray or Copenhagen, win 1 game, we are through to the round of 16. That is it. Now, right back, this is where I make a shift because Amrabat has shown us that he can play full back, but not on the left. And he was struggling throughout the match, especially in the defensive area. But getting that ball, possessing it, he was okay. But in the defensive part of it, he was obviously struggling a little bit. And for my case, this is why I think we should play him as a right back because he'll best suit that position very well. And for all of Erik ten Hag, I put Sofian Amrabat as the right back of Manchester United. Then I get Diego Dalot and play him as a left back into that position also because Dalot has shown us that when it comes to play as a left back, he can obviously help us overlap. But Amrabat has shown us that he cannot overlap when he's playing as a left back. So let's try him out as a right back and see how things are going to pan out into that particular position. But maybe Ten Hag will be afraid of him facing Wilfried Zaha. But I think we're obviously not going to give them a chance to obviously thrive so much in our third because these games are going to show us that we can obviously take the ball to the opponent, but how can we break down the opponent? That's the most important bit of it. So, and secondly, I would go for Scott McTominay to play as a right back, Dalot as a left back. I don't know whether that is going to hit to cross the mind of Erik ten Hag. Maybe we are having a hidden player who can play as a right back in Scott McTominay in any other way all around. Central defense, with Lisandro Martinez out, you expect Lindelof to play onto the right side of the central defense and Varane to play on the left side of the central defense for the club of Manchester United. And that's what I really believe is going to happen tonight. And our back four is going to sound like that. Maybe Ten Hag will get Sofian Amrabat and tell him you're going to play against your fellow countryman. That is Ziyech. If at all Ziyech happens to be past fit, obviously Ziyech will happen to come in through and play some big part into this game of football. So that is it, but I won't be shocked if at all Amrabat is being played on the left and Dalot being played on the right to track down Wilfried Zaha, because Dalot has known Wilfried Zaha for some time. He has faced him before. It's not the first time he's facing him, and he knows exactly what he really brings onto the plate. That is it. Now, we go to the central midfield. I think it's going to be Casemiro. Obviously, it's going to have to come good. You see to it that ever since we played Bayern Munich, Casemiro is back to full effect, and he has gone ahead to effect very many games of Man United. And that's why I obviously believe that he should be played as a number 8, and Sofian Amrabat should be covering that central defense, such that Casemiro gets so much time, obviously drive himself forward, because it's shown us that when he's being played in that position, he's a big threat for the opponents. Alongside who? I think so. It will be Eriksen. It's going to be Mason Mount to be played alongside him in that midfield as Erik ten Hag fits. But for my case, after showing you this starting 11 that is really probable, I'm going to let you know how mine would have gone ahead to stand into this entire game of football. Then Bruno Fernandes, central attacking midfielder, as the captain of Manchester United, captaining his first Champions League game under Erik ten Hag. But I'm gonna hate to obviously tell you my reservations on this guy. He doesn't act like a modern number 10, you know. He loses his head and he loses concentration to obviously get us that line-breaking pass. He's the person who is responsible for obviously telling the players that please calm down, we should obviously do better. Things that Casemiro is doing from far off the pitch when he approaches the final third are things that Bruno Fernandes should be doing. But Bruno is not doing this stuff. I don't know why. Yet he's 29 years of age. He needs to obviously know that in this game of football, knowing and playing it easy is the best way to obviously get yourself where you want to be as a club of Manchester United. That is Bruno Fernandes for you. Then, right attacking side of the midfield, I don't see Erik ten Hag not starting this man when he's back. He's really obsessed with him, and that is Anthony, and he believes that he needs another outlet that we're obviously going to bring in lots and lots of sacks at the club of Manchester United. That is Anthony onto the right attacking side of the midfield. Facundo Perez has not been doing bad, but I know Ten Hag is going to go in for Anthony instead. Then on the left attacking side of the midfield, I called for this change after the game of Crystal Palace. I would on any day start Alejandro Garnacho, and no one can stop me from always taking this decision because I believe Garnacho is a force to reckon with because of his talent and what he offers to us when he's going forward. And he's a very talented player that has a lot to offer to the team of Manchester United. And Rashford is really having a very big problem that if Garnacho wasn't a player coming in from the academy of Manchester United, that would have been maybe a point that really gives him everything to start ahead of him. But I believe even Garnacho is a player from the academy and he's loved like Rashford is loved by these fans of Manchester United. And Garnacho is so much exciting. He keeps these fans on the edge of their seats at Old Trafford. So these fans are 100% sure of Garnacho. And by the way, for me, if at all Garnacho starts and Rashford is benched, I won't be surprised. And I don't think that's going to be a United fan who's going to come out and obviously fume at Erik ten Hag for making this change, because guess what's going to hate to cost us games? It's Marcus Rashford. And we need these players to come in through and do the needful. Now, who's leading the line? Rasmus Højlund or Anton Martial? My first instinct told me that maybe Anton Martial is going to come in and start, having come off the bench against Crystal Palace. But I think Ten Hag wants to reserve this player, and we are obviously going to see Rasmus Højlund start into that position of Manchester United, and we are here to obviously see that the team obviously gets a win. That team can obviously face any team in the world and obviously get a win, but the problem is how we operate in the final third. That's our problem. Can we get the line-breaking passes in? Can we really concentrate and see ourselves really getting where we deserve to be at the club of Manchester United? That is the big question that most of us are really waiting to hear from the people of Manchester United and the officials, because all what we are lacking is killing off our chances and creating chances. You know, with that quality we are having, we can face any team and obviously beat it. But that is the starting 11 that I believe Ten Hag is going to bring in through. But what would have been my starting 11 if at all I was given a chance? First and foremost, I play Scott McTominay as the right back. That is it. Dalot as the left back. Rinderoff and Vermaelen in the central defense. Casemiro and Amrabat in the double pivot. Then I play Mason Mount as a right attacking midfielder. Then I go for Garnacho as a left attacking midfielder, and for Rasmus Højlund to lead that line. That's what I want. If our Erik ten Hag, that's how we're going to approach that game of football today. But I don't think he's going to approach it that way, and I think he's obviously going to go ahead and obviously get us there. But I think we're going to win it by 2-0, according to me. 2-3-0, that is it. And this bet will keep a clean sheet. That is it. So, let me first read you certain things that you need to know about this fixture between Manchester United and Galatasaray. Manchester United have never lost a home game to Galatasaray in three previous meetings, drawing 3-3 in October 1993 in the Champions League, and winning 4-0 in December 1994, and 1-0 in September in the competition group stages. So it shows you that the 3 times they're going to hate to travel to Old Trafford, Galatasaray have going to hate to fall on the sword of Manchester United. It shows you how good we are and how pedigree gives us a chance to thrive into the Champions League. Then, secondly, Galatasaray have won just one of their 6 previous meetings with Manchester United. 3 draws, 2 losses, though it was their most recent meeting in November 2012. Then the last Turkish side to win away to an English opponent in the UEFA Champions League was Besiktas, who won 1-0 at Old Trafford against Manchester United in November 2009. Since then, the English side has won each of the last 5 such games in competitions with Buzespa, Galatasaray, and Istanbul Başakşehir. That is it. Fourthly, Man United have lost 6 of their last 13 UEFA Champions League matches at Old Trafford, 5 wins and 2 draws, as many defeats as they suffered across their previous 80 matches there in the competition. Therefore, 59 wins and 17 draws. And lastly, Galatasaray earned a draw against FC Copenhagen in MD1 despite trailing entering the 86th minute. They have lost 26 consecutive UEFA Champions League matches when traveling by at least 2 goals at this stage. So they've gone ahead to lose very many fixtures when they're traveling away from their side, and that shows you that they are not a good side to reckon with when it comes to obviously giving them a side. And these are games that are obviously great for us to win. That's why I wanted us to win the game of Crystal Palace, because for this I know it was a game done and dusted, but we need to play those 90 minutes in a very good way to get ourselves to where we deserve to be. So tell me, who do you start, who do you don't start into that starting 11, and what's your prediction? Because mine is 2-3-0 in favor of Man United, and I anticipate that the Champions League night is obviously going to hit us differently in a positive way, as the likes of Casemiro show their class like they did down in Munich and scored a brace. Rasmus Højlund scored his first goal for Man United in the Champions League, and let's wait and see whether today he's going to be in the score sheet. Something I believe is obviously going to be there, and we might annihilate them on the night to really get back our confidence. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. And David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and good morning. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barak Laufikum. Champions League football back at Old Trafford. What are your thoughts about it?